All right, so we did our commits. We're on our branch 101-0, and what we're going to do now is we're going to merge our branch into master. First thing we want to do is go ahead and do a git status, make sure nothing has changed, which it has not. We can see that we're in our 101-0 branch, and we're going to go out, we're going to take a quick look at the things that we're going to want to check. First of all, that's just our step example. What we do see in here in our GitHub is that we don't have a 101 branch, which is good. We don't expect to have that. We'll refresh and make sure. The next thing we want to do is we want to go and we want to check our what we call our production site, our 1xx site, which currently does not have the menu in it that we've done. So that'll be updated, and that'll be our push to production. And of course, we want to go ahead and check our local. I'm going to move my console down, make sure that I have console open, and I'm going to go ahead and empty cache and do a refresh. All looks well, everything's working the way we want it to, and excellent. So now at this point we'll just take one more look at Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is good, and before we do anything else, the first thing that we want to do is go ahead and push our branch to our GitHub repository. So at this point, the way that we do that, again, just git status. Since we jumped around and did a few things, we're good. Now we want to do a git push. We want to push it to the origin, which is the address of our GitHub. And what we want to do is we want to push the branch. So 101-0, right? That's the name of our branch. And we just want to push that up there to preserve it. Normally, you might keep it for a little. A lot of times you end up deleting branches because you're just done and moving forward. But for educational reference and things like that, we're going to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and do my push. It's going to ask me for my username. And my password. And my push is done. What it does is it basically compresses everything up, and then it pushes it up to the server. We can go and validate that real quick by going out to our GitHub. We can see right there it actually is showing us that it was pushed. We'll do a little refresh. We'll look in our branches here, scroll up a little, and we can see there's our 101-0, and if we switch to it, we can see that we actually have, if we go in assets, we see our data, there's our JSON. If we go back out and we look at our index file, we'll see that we actually have all of our code that we put in there. Excellent. So at this point, we have our branch up there. That's great. We're now protected, as I would say it. It's in another place, in another location. And we're going to go ahead and before we go back to Commander, we're just going to take another peek real quick, because we can see that all of the things we did in 101 applied here, 101-0 applied here. And the next thing that we want to do is we're going to go ahead and check out our master. Oops, got to do git first. Git check out master. We have to check out master because that's where we want to be. We want to merge the 101-0 into master. And now, actually, just for learning purposes, let's go out and let's refresh this page, and we're going to see that this disappears, because essentially what it did is it replaced what we had in master in the file system. And we can see that as well. If we come in here to Dreamweaver, we can see that we don't have our data folder anymore, or our app.js, which is fine. That's all good. So at this point, now that we did that, let's go ahead and let's merge. So we're going to do a git merge. And what we want to merge, and we're sitting in the master branch, so we're just saying merge this into master branch 101-0. So we have 101-0, and we're going to merge it into it. And we can see that we had a successful merge with no issues, 90 changes just in JSON, right? Because it adds the lines, not the file. 54 lines in our app.js because we created the file and it added them. We had a couple lines added and then a couple lines deleted in our index.html. So at this point, we can go ahead and, because we did the merge, actually, if we come over here to Dreamweaver and we watch the files and we do a refresh, we can see that everything came into play. If we go out to localhost and we do a refresh, we can see that everything came into play. We are now on our master branch, and all of our changes have been brought back into our master branch. So now, before we go ahead and we push it up to GitHub in production, what we want to do is right-click on our README file and open with Dreamweaver. And in here, we're basically just going to add into what we call our manifest, which is basically just information about what's going on, what we've been doing. And we're going to put 101-0, and we're going to put added first level of navigation, period. Created, and what we can do is we can just bullet it out instead of having to write sentences. Created app.js, and let's be a little more specific about that and say assets/js/app.js. We can go ahead and we can use that, and we can say created assets data dot menu JSON moved header resize JS to app.js, and that should be good enough. So we'll go ahead and we'll save that. You can see we have modifications, and we're going to close that, by the way, as well. We're going to go up to our commander again. We're going to run a git status, and we're going to see that there was a change in our README file, which is fine. We expect that. We're going to go ahead and say git add. And if we do a status again, we'll see that it has it. And so we're going to do a git commit -m. And actually, I'm going to be cheap and go steal them. I believe I have one that I'm trying to keep consistent here. So we're going to say merged 101-0 branch into master and pushing to production. So we just like to do that because it's a common, if you keep consistent, people know what to look for when they're looking for things. So we'll do that commit. Awesome. Took it in, do a status. And at this point, that is good. We're good over here. We see our file just changed colors. And we're going to do a git push and push origin master. Username. Looks like it's pushing. Looks like we're good. We'll go out. We'll take a quick peek. And we can see in master, here we can see our commit message that we put in, and we're in the master branch right now, and we can see data's in there. And the other way that we can check that is we can actually go out to our Git pages, right? GitHub Pages, and take a peek there, and we can see that now it reflects all the changes that we had. Additionally, one last thing, if we come out here to the root of our GitHub and we look at our README, we can see that our manifest is starting to grow. Awesome. So the last thing that we have to do is Normally in real life, we'd wait till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night to even think about doing this. We're going to go ahead and update what we call our production site. The way that we do that is we'll go over to Dreamweaver. We know we're in our 1X, we're in our master branch, which is good. We're going to switch over to show our file view. We're going to look at our remote view, and we see what we have there. We'll go ahead to our local. We're going to highlight the root, and we're going to say synchronize. We're going to say entire 1X site, get put. We're going to say delete remote files not on local drive because we don't want that, and we're going to ask for a preview. It's going to create a preview for us, and we can see that we're just putting files, and these are all the files that have changed. We're going to click OK, and right now it just pushed the files up. So at this point we're on our production site. If I go ahead, let's inspect that, go to console, let's do a refresh the cache, and we can see that all of our changes are now live on our production site. So at this point we could reach out to our client. Well, we probably would do quite a bit of testing first to make sure that everything was good, but at this point we'd be able to reach out to our client and say, hey, we've satisfied the due date and we have delivered. Excellent. So at this point we're done, and we'll see you in step 102.